Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the earth. Let me take this moment to say to you, welcome back. This is your Moray, Dr. Yeshu, and I just want to take this moment, my brothers and sisters, to tell you how much we love you and we thank you for your prayers and for your support and everything you do to help advance the kingdom. Praise His holy name. It's a little bit hot. Hallelujah. Thank you. My brothers and sisters, today is June 19th. And all over the country, different places, not everybody. I wish everybody would do it. I wish all the African American brothers and sisters would do it. I wish they would. You know, it's a special day, okay, for African Americans. Sometimes they don't see the necessity, okay? Sometimes they don't see the necessity. But my brothers and sisters, it's important. And those who know the truth and don't practice it, don't show it, don't tell it, it's just going to be bad for the generation to come, okay? So I just want to say, even though I was not born in the United States of America, I am a naturalized citizen. And being a naturalized citizen means that I have taken up the responsibility of what a citizen is supposed to do and share information, okay? And so we know that in the Caribbean, I was born in Jamaica, and those of you who know, you know that you hear my accent, right? But living in the United States for 47 years, I know, okay, and I've seen a lot of things happen, okay? I remember a lot of things happened in Jacksonville, Florida. Happened to me, right? Like it happened to many other people. My brothers and sisters, I have been always practice, since I came to this country. Always practice solidarity, even before I was naturalized. Okay? Alright, so if anyone listening and have any any kind of remarks to make, I want to let you know I pay my dues. Okay? I pay my dues. And if I know something, I'm not going to let it slip. I'm not going to let it slip. I'm going to tell it. Okay? And, today is Juneteenth. And to many of us, people of color, many of us don't care. And you see, when you're not showing, that you care, it means that information that you're supposed to know, you will not be able to pass it on to your children or to your grandchildren or to your children's children. You won't be able to do it because you don't care. And this is something that you should care about. Okay? Now, we know that in emancipation on the East Coast, the people on the Eastern Seaboard, they knew. But back towards Texas and beyond Texas, going west, the people did not know. The message didn't get there yet. It took a while. So if emancipation happened like in January or whatever it was, then it's late in June, a couple of months later, probably a year later, before these people start getting the information. Okay? And they said when men rode on horses. You see, in those days we didn't have planes and automobiles to drive on good roads like we have now. You have to ride on horses and they have to pass through all kind of difficult situations to get there. But we know it was armed forces taking the message, right? But the question I have to ask you, how knowledgeable are you? How knowledgeable are you in relation to Juneteenth? How much do you know? And what you know, how much are you willing to tell? Okay? And so I want us to know that, but we know that today is a federal holiday. Okay? But Juneteenth is a federal holiday in the United States. I know some of the leaders don't care for it, and some are trying to take it out of the book. But you know, the government don't have to celebrate it. Who need to celebrate it? You and me. We need to be aware of it, so we can share it and understand. Okay, we can tell our children and our grandchildren. We need to understand that. Okay, so we know it's a federal holiday here in the United States, and you know this holiday it commemorates the emancipations of the enslaved African American, and June 1965. Okay, 1965, and that's the time it just start recognizing it. Okay, and even though it was after. It was supposed to be right around 1865 or whatever that time, but they started recognizing it around that time. Okay, and we know that the Juneteenth flag, of freedom. There's a flag of freedom. Okay, that is that half of it is red, half of it is blue, and it has the stars in the middle. Okay. That was the Juneteenth flag at the time. When they created the flag, it was created for that. And so Juneteenth, Freedom Day, is Juneteenth. And we refer to it as Freedom Day. And so my brothers and sisters, so in 2021, Congress passed, the Juneteenth National Independence Day. This act making Juneteenth a federal holiday. Okay, so we need to know that. Okay, this is 2021. Okay, so Texas, was the first state, to declare Juneteenth, a state holiday in 1980. Right? And so that day, what happened on that day is that more than 250,000 African Americans, they were freed. 250,000 were freed by the executive order in Texas. So 250,000 in Texas, and so Texas recognized them that time. That was one of the tough states, and they recognized emancipation. Okay, so we know that. The question is that we're not really paying as much attention, and we don't know a whole lot. But I was looking at some information like the Gallup polls and different people. Historians and all that, they were writing up and stuff, and so the study also show Juneteenth, right, show racial divides, okay, because this divide comes in the form of knowledge, and I say because more than two in 3 black Americans are African American. Okay? This divides. The knowledge is in knowledge, my brothers and sisters. It said with more than 2 in 3 black Americans, 69%, reporting having a lot of this, some form of knowledge, to compare with 40% of, Hispanic Americans and 31% of, we say white or Anglo, Americans. And when we look at it from the political, standpoint, we see that there's a divide also. And this divide reflected in the parties that are running for election, right? Because it reflected the study which is, found that Democrats are more likely, to be familiar with the independents and than the Republican. So Democrats are more likely to be familiar with it, because many of the Republican people want to close it down. They say they don't care about that. Okay, they don't care about it, because anything that has to do with us, they don't care. Okay, but the study even found, an age gap between, when we talk about knowledge in the younger adults and a more knowledge in the older adults, about the historical significance of the day. So the Gallup poll is the one that, if you read the Gallup poll, you're going to see a lot of the same information we're talking to you about. Okay, but the few of the African American people are waking up to reality and seeing, these different things about us and about emancipation and and I don't know, sometimes even some of our African American people, they don't want to talk about it, and if I tell them something, in relationship in regards to Juneteenth or to any other events, any other thing about blackness and so on, they would rather take it from the white people than to take it from me, because I'm a foreigner. That's what they look at me at. Oh, you're a foreigner, we don't have to listen to you. My brothers and sisters, I like I said, solidarity. Okay? Solidarity. And I see my people as my people. I don't care what country they're from. Okay? I don't care what country I was born in. I'm naturalized American. And I see my people as my people. And I want us to understand that I am not going to drop the ball when it comes to my people. Okay? Sometimes the church has a lot to do with this thing too, because the church say, oh, well, these things are done and they're gone, so just leave it. And remember, my sisters, if you don't teach it, if you do not teach these information to your children, they come up and then they're going to find it in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. The Bible was written to the Hebrew Israelite, and they took it and changed up a lot of stuff out of it. So you don't get the full truth about. But all of these information, that I'm talking to you about, if you go back, you can find out that the Bible prophesied them. All we have to do is to read the Bible and understand it. And don't allow those, what I would refer to them as lame preachers, who don't understand anything. Lame preachers don't study the Bible. They wait till Saturday night to take out the Bible, to go over a verse or two, find a message that somebody wrote, and they come take it to the people and give it to the people and take their money, take their offering and tithes, and tell them all kind of foolishness, and don't tell them the truth. There's a scripture here where Yahushua said, in John chapter 8 and verse 32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You shall know it. My brothers and sisters, you cannot know the truth unless you have read it, you have researched it, unless someone who has the ability to understand, read it, study it, and share it with you. Many of us, we are too lazy to do any research, to find anything out for ourselves. We allow someone else to tell us. And many times when they tell us, my brothers and sisters, it is watered down. We don't get the full truth. You know, we do not get the full truth. Let us go beyond the race and the racial divides. Okay? Look, 69% of African Americans have some knowledge. Having a lot of some knowledge. My brothers and sisters, it should be more than 69%. It should be 100%. Because you see what happened, we're caring about something else. We're not caring about the truth. We're not caring about what happened to us. We don't care. It should be 100%. It should be 100%. 40% of Hispanic people, you know, it's still a good percentage of them. At least more than the white people. White people is 31%. But African American, my brothers and sisters, should be 100. Look here, at least it should be 99%. Should be at least 99% have a lot of knowledge about Juneteenth. I believe that some who were born on the east, on the seaboard coastline, you know, they're saying, well, okay, that our problem is different from theirs. Because we know about slavery, ending of slavery before then. But at the same time, we should be yearning. It should bother us to know that, you know, we know about it for so long. And then, you know, they're just going to find out several months or a year or whatever. And then some of those who found out that they still didn't believe. They've been praying for it for a long time. And when it happened, they still did not quite believe it. My brothers and sisters, it's time for us to wake up, understand our plight, know where we're coming from, and have a good knowledge of where we're going. And so I just want to take this moment to say to you, my brothers and sisters, that I was going to let it go by, but I said, you know, let me just say a few things regarding this day, Juneteenth, because it's a special day, okay? It is a very special day. A matter of fact, we know that New York, the school system in New York today, you know, they don't open, you know. They let today, in some places, some state, the banks are closed, you know. So it will be a national holiday. Don't wait for the government to push it, you know. You celebrate it in your way. Get your family together tonight. You watch this thing. And sit them around and listen to what I just said to you. And encourage your young ones, your children, encourage them. And tell them about Juneteenth. Find out something, get some information. And talk to your children and your grandchildren or your family members. Talk to them about Juneteenth. And I trust that these few words that I've said here, something to encourage you, and something to leave a spot in your mind, my brothers and my sisters, that you will not allow, another Juneteenth to come where you don't say something to your family members. Do some reading on it. There are a lot of information, and read upon it and understand how this day came about. And it was President Biden signed it into law before he left office. Okay, so it's in the book, right? And so he could have been in there before. He could have been in there for over 100 years before. But you know what? Politicians, they draw their feet, they draw their leg, they talk about it, but they never really come around to do it. So we praise Yahweh that even, a Gentile man, have love in his heart for the Hebrew Israelite people and the African American people, right? And decide to sign it into law. And today, we can consider today as a freedom day. Free. Everybody's free. Not only on the eastern seaboard, but also on the west. People are free. And as he said, he who Yahuwah set free is free indeed. Now the freedom come at a cost. Don't allow things to go by and you don't learn and understand. So I just want to take this moment to say to you, have a great day. Be a blessing to someone today. And do not fail to walk with the King. Shalom.